Baddies, this episode is brought to you by M3 is 3D.
That's right. M3 is 3D is a company that makes 3D printed figurines much like these heads that hold our beautiful headphones. They also make Dungeons & Dragons figures, dice organizers, all the things to make your nerd life easier.
This one is specifically a Sauron 3D printed graphic head, and I love it so much because I'm such a Lord of the Rings nerd. So
And this is an alien.
yeah, so check out m3is3d.com. Use promo code ICBTB
for 10% off at checkout.
Yep. And yeah.
That's
enjoy.
it, guys. We got a sponsor, believe it or not.
Yeah. Enjoy the show.
It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
I was with a friend and she goes, like, this is pretty much a horror film, Alex. This is like kind of like as scary as it gets. I'm like, yeah, but this is kind of like, I think this is classified as a thriller. I think this is like, I can do thriller. I can do
like a horror movie. I'm gonna tell
it
you,
was pretty, yeah.
very scary in the beginning. Very scary. Well, not the beginning, but like
The whole
right
time.
when
The whole time.
shit happens, when shit goes down.
Should we say what film we're talking about?
Ladies and gentlemen, well, let's welcome the baddies
hello,
real
welcome,
quick.
welcome, baddies.
Yes, welcome to another
Welcome,
episode of
baddies.
ICBTB
podcast.
also known as.
It can't be that bad.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have once again in the couch our very special guest, Rob Glatzel, sitting across from us.
Hey,
Yes.
everybody.
Dude, okay, and I always have to remind the listeners, if you haven't yet, listen back to the Tuesday episode, the highly relevant episode. We get very real. We have real conversations about this guy and all the stuff that he's been doing. Check him out everywhere through Instagram, Room 208, blah, blah, blah. Everything's in the description.
Yep.
Amazing stuff. But this is our movie episode, and we watched No Escape. And, I'm so sorry. We said it already?
No.
No, we didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, we watched
No
Escape.
Room.
Stop.
Sorry.
I'm so sick of that joke for the 7th time. Maybe once or twice, but the 7th, you're really just, what do you call it? Like
Hammering it home.
beating off a dead horse?
I beat off dead horses all the time, and this is going far easier.
I feel like we should watch that film
Just to like have a
just at some point.
do like a double episode, do a
As
two-hander.
a super meta joke for only the people that watch this episode and the episode before. No Escape Room with Rob. Honestly, so down. There's no way that did well.
So honestly, have you guys ever like? Do you guys watch films with your guests and then record the same like right after?
No, we've done that maybe with Jules,
Yeah.
but that's it. We've never really done it.
Only because we had left the movie theater right after, and we're like, we got to go talk about cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
right
sure.
fucking now.
That could be an interesting. Well, I don't know. Anyways.
To just like do
To
it
be like-
fresh.
To be like, let's group and let's watch this and let's immediately go into the podcast.
Well, the difficult aspect of that, and we'll get to the movie real quick. But the difficult aspect of that is devoting the entire day.
yeah.
Because
fair.
let's watch the movie, let's record highly irrelevant,
Fair.
and then let's record the movie episode.
I
But
feel
that
that.
would be incredible if someone just had absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah.
So if you don't have anything to do, I'm down to do that with you.
It could be a cool experience, not to derail this whole
Like a
intro thing.
24-hour show.
Let's come back to that because it does sound kind of cool to like go immediately from film to let's talk about it.
Our thoughts, everything's fresh in our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I
let's
can
just
be down with it.
let's get straight into it, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get straight into it.
So No Escape, if you guys haven't seen it yet, pause this episode, go on Netflix. It is still available on there. It is a thriller, action and adventure. I think Google slates it as action and adventure, but it's definitely more like thriller. I think it's a scary fucking
It's
movie.
terrifying. It's terrifying.
It's so stressful, and it has some of your favorite actors in there. Owen Wilson not doing the Owen Wilson thing.
Lake Bell also not doing the Lake Bell thing.
And Pierce Brosnan kind of doing the Pierce
He's
Brosnan
pretty much
thing.
doing Pierce Brosnan. A drunker Pierce Brosnan.
Love drunk Pierce Brosnan.
I think that's Pierce Brosnan.
Just in real life.
Okay, if it pleases the court, I have an itty-bitty nitty-gritty for us.
Pleases the court.
We watched a film called No Escape Room. And sorry.
Shut the front.
Sorry. A father and daughter check out a small town's escape room and discover that there's something sinister about Sorry, wrong one. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so mad at you.
I know.
So mad.
Today's the episode where Christian kills me. We watched a movie called No Escape. It was rated R and was released in the year 2015. Has a runtime of 1 hour and 43 minutes, or for those of us who don't enjoy doing fast math, or as they called it in the old days, arithmetic, it's 103 minutes. This film was rated 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb and has a 47% on the Rotten Tomatoes, a 3.7 out of 5 from Facebook. And my friends, it's got Google users. Christian, did you see by chance what the Google user was?
I didn't. I'm going to say 73%. I'm going to guess low.
Rob, do you want to guess?
I'm going to guess a little higher. I'm going to say 78.
It was actually 88% like this film.
Wow.
Really?
I'm happy. I'm happy with that.
That's you know what it is because like it's actually kind of an intense for what it is. Mm-hmm. It's pretty intense and gets it going. My heart rate was through the roof every minute of this film. I was sweating. My palms were wet. I was vomit on my sweater already. It was just, I couldn't get over it, you know?
I will say right off the bat, this movie, it's underrated. And you've been trying to bring this movie to us since 2019. I'm so glad that I finally watched it. This was one of the few films that I've watched for this podcast that I watched like from beginning to end nonstop, like did not pause once. Because usually I take like breaks because it was a bad movie podcast and some of these movies are bad. But yeah.
I only took one break to go get a big glass of water because I was breathing through my mouth the whole time. I was just like, oh my fucking God.
This movie's just, it's incredible. Let's go.
Synopsis coming at you.
Oh, you did it already, right?
No,
Oh,
I did
you
one,
did
I
that
did
for
it for
No
the fake.
Escape Room, you fuck. Okay, go ahead. So mad at you.
You got to say this thing, though.
Right at you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob.
Rob knows, man. Rob knows.
American businessman Jack Dwyer, wife Annie, and their 2 young daughters arrive in Southeast Asia to begin a new life. As his company plans to improve the region's water quality, the family quickly learns that they're right in the middle of a political uprising. Armed rebels attack the hotel where they're staying, ordered to kill any foreigners that they encounter. Amid utter chaos, Jack must find a way to save himself and his loved ones from the violence erupting all around them. This film is written and directed by John Eric Dowdle? I think it's pronounced Dowd. His brother was a producer on it, but it had a budget of just $5 million. But, gentlemen, do you know how much it made back in its box office?
No.
Would you gentlemen like to guess what it made back in its box office recoup?
The budget was 5?
5 mil.
So I never saw this film advertised.
Really?
I have
no recollection.
I
of
have
it.
no idea. I just saw this on like HBO one day when I was hungover, and I was like, Owen Wilson. You know, I'm gonna say 3.8 million.
Oh, you don't
Solid
think it
guess,
made its
solid
money?
guess.
I don't know because I knew nothing
hard.
about it.
I do remember this trailer. I will never forget seeing this trailer in the movie theaters because it's
So it
Owen
had
Wilson.
a theatrical
Right.
release.
It's Owen Wilson throwing a child off of a building.
Right.
And I will never forget that trailer. I couldn't even tell you what movie I was seeing, but as soon as
Yeah.
I saw what movie this was, I was like, oh, fuck. I've always been, like, aware of this film.
Okay. Okay.
So, Christian, how much do you think it made?
8 million. I think it got a return
Okay.
because look at the actors that it's flexing.
Yeah, for sure.
Owen Wilson and Pierce Brosnan.
Gentlemen, I hate to disagree with you guys, except for Christian. I love disagreeing with you. It actually made back so much money. This film
Really?
recouped $54.4
Holy
million.
shit.
Well deserved.
God
Yes.
damn.
Well
Yes,
deserved.
yes. Especially
dude.
made so cheaply, filmed mostly in Thailand, and I think most of their budget probably went to paying Pierce Brosnan.
That's
But
fucking wild.
they did a great job. They made
That
their
is-
money back for a small budget indie
I feel
film.
terrible for underestimating it like that.
You know what? You like this film, and that's what you gave it.
Imagine watching this in theaters though, like how incredible it must have been though. Like I would have
Can I just say though, like when I picked this film, when I picked this film just to watch, right?
Yeah.
It was when I was like super hungover. Like so, the same with the last film that I picked, the Bye Bye
Bye
Man,
Man.
right? Like
Great film.
I pick films when I'm just like, oh, like I've been partying or drinking all night. Like I want to watch something dumb. Like I want to watch something that wasn't trying to be dumb, but it's dumb, right?
At least they
and
try.
I saw this film, right? And I was like, it was like Owen Wilson is like this action role in this like foreign country. And I was like, well, there's no way this is going to be good. Like, this is a weird thing, you know?
yeah.
Like,
I thought it was maybe a real story. It wasn't until I started watching this where I was like, "Oh, this is
but the thing is, it's Owen Wilson. Owen
Yes.
Wilson is like a goofy or he's a romantic. Like he's
Yes.
not an action role. So I saw it and I was like, this is gonna be funny. You know what I mean? And I put
hoped
it on.
It would be
Other than his
two
stint,
dad jokes.
No,
Oh.
no. Like, what was that army movie he did?
Oh, Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk Down.
Behind Enemy Lines.
Behind
Behind Enemy Lines.
Behind
Behind Enemy
Lines.
Lines.
True.
Black Hawk Down was Eric Bana.
Yes, Behind Enemy Lines, a PG-13 war film, which is hard to execute. That was the only action film that I had known that he had done. But this, seeing him like...
Is this... Okay, there's a lot of actioning happening around Owen Wilson.
Sure.
But he actually acts very realistic and
Yes.
very
Yeah.
honest. Like, one of the things I was telling...
Yes.
Because I watched this film, and then I finished it, then I told my friend about it, we watched it together right after. And one of the things I kept telling her was like, my first thing would be like, I need to get a weapon, I need to arm myself, I need to protect the family and shit like that. But like, no, the truth of the matter is like, yeah, that's what everybody says. Like, oh man, I'd fight him, I'd shoot him, I'd take him on. But it's like, no, the truth is like, in that moment, no, you're focused on getting your family together, getting them to safety, figuring out what's going on, what's the next move. Owen Wilson does his best acting, I think, in his career in this film. Honestly, this is some intense acting that he delivers on almost every second.
I agree. The entire movie executed realism, minus a few moments where I'm just like, would that really happen? But coming from him, he acted as honest as he could.
I think so too. I think actually, I mean, as much as I was saying that this is like, when I saw his name cast in this film, I was like, this is ridiculous. But actually seeing him fulfill this role is like, holy shit, this is cast super well. I think we should tell the baddies like what the premise of the film is.
Sure.
Because if you hear Owen Wilson in a serious action film, you're like, what do I expect from Owen Wilson in this film? And that's what I went into this film thinking, and then I saw it and I was like, holy shit, this is perfect casting for Owen Wilson.
This is incredible. Great dad
He
role.
nails it. Yeah, he's a dad. He nails the dad role.
Does what he has to do. He's not. He doesn't turn into Rambo halfway through.
Nope.
And like all of a sudden, like we find out that he used to be a Marine. It's like
Right.
you know how sometimes movies always turn that way.
Yeah.
Very realistic. Very like.
What I've learned about comedic actors, since comedy in general is harder to execute than drama, because drama is just like real time. With comedy, you need to master comedic timing. So, like all of these comedians, they've mastered that. It's kind of like if you know ballet, then you could do hip hop. If you know classical singing, then you could do any other genre of singing. With comedy, that's like what it is, because you have to master that timing. If you master comedic timing, then you can master dramatic timing easily. So, a lot of comedic actors, like for example, like Kevin Hart, he's dabbling in drama stuff now.
Fatherhood
like,
was very intense.
right? See, stuff like that. Robin Williams, whose roots were comedy.
Improv.
Boom. Improv specifically.
Yes.
He was able to master drama. So like Owen Wilson, as much as we're like looking through the thumbnails of these Netflix movies, we see Owen Wilson in an action flick, we're like, okay, let's see what's this about.
Yeah.
Honestly, not even surprised that he was able to like kill it in this like serious movie.
Yeah.
Let's start from the top.
Sure.
Opening scene is actually kind of like a weird. And the opening scene, I think, is one of those you can still be buying popcorn and get to this movie late scene.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because you can kind of take or leave that scene and it wouldn't really make that big of a difference. Doesn't make that like that could have almost even been a post-credit scene,
Yeah.
right? Like if at the end of the film they're like 17 hours early, like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And in fact, it wasn't until the second time I watched it that I realized that guy talking to the Prime Minister is like one of the Cardiff CEOs.
Whoa, I didn't even realize that.
I had the subtitles on the second time I watched it, and the guy, he's saying Cardiff quite a bit to him. So it's from minute one, do we know that there's something going on, that this company Cardiff is causing a rebellion in this non-disclosed Southeast Asian country that's north of Vietnam?
I think
That's upstream from Vietnam?
Yeah, up or downstream from Vietnam. Yeah.
But it's bordering Vietnam.
right, exactly.
And
Which is easy to check. Like, I don't know why they
I don't know why we didn't check either.
why they would make a fake country next to a real country. Like, it's just like, just go fake all the way around.
fake all the countries.
Yeah, why not?
Well, it is interesting that they didn't name the country. I understand the strategy behind keeping it vague and just calling it like a Southeastern Asian country.
But they literally never,
They
ever
don't
said.
call it. They don't say anything.
They
Like,
never address where they are.
however, we see like a bunch of
Maps?
like maps and like signs that depict the language, right?
Yes.
And so I didn't look into what language they did or if they like made it up.
Mostly Laotian.
Oh,
And
Laotian.
some like hilltop dialects.
Okay, that's what you found out.
That's what IMDb told me.
Cool.
But we do also see where it is on the airplane map. When the opening film, we see Owen Wilson with his family on the airplane flying to the island. He's like, "Oh no, we still have 11 hours to go."
Yeah.
So they're clearly flying.
Yeah, sorry. That part in the I just want to say, like, I picked this film right because I was, I wanted to watch a dumb film.
Yeah.
And I think
not it.
up into like the 30-minute mark, there are some kind of like things that you can laugh at.
Yes.
Which one of them is when they're on the plane and his wife is like, "Oh, how long have we been on this plane?" And they like show a map of the plane, and it's only like the first like third.
They haven't even passed Hawaii yet.
Yeah, like they haven't even gone that far, and she's like, "Oh, like
They haven't.
pissed.
how long has this been?"
Oh my
It's like,
And then the next time they
it's
see
like,
him,
girl, we've been on the plane for like an hour.
Yo,
like, what
yeah.
are you doing? Like,
someone
She's
didn't take their
tripping.
Xanax with them. You know what I mean?
She'd never traveled abroad.
yeah,
That was her first time.
I think what's really funny too about that scene is the daughters. They set up very clearly like that the daughter doesn't swear.
yeah.
So I was really, really hoping that like at the very end of the film, I didn't know where it was going, but I just hoped the daughter at the end like looked whoever the antagonist was in the eyes and just goes, "Fuck
Yeah.
you."
Fuck you.
Right?
Yes.
That would have been such a great
Honestly-
like. I thought that's what they were foreshadowing. The fact that they didn't do it is one of the only mistakes that they made in this film.
Brilliant, but I bet you they thought of it, but it might have just
didn't
been
do
a
it.
little too cheesy.
I did notice okay, we'll get there. But at the very end, when they're rowing, the daughter smiles at one point, and I was like, "Oh man, they've been filming so long. Like she was just having fun in a boat.
I'm gonna be a movie star.
She forgot that she was in a scary." But anyways, so they're flying to Southeast Asia. They arrive. Actually, no. Bees, his daughter, drops her bear,
The bees.
the Beezy,
I don't know if that's ever what they call her. Yeah.
and Pierce Brosnan is in the row behind him, right? Returns it to him, makes a kind of a fun connection. On the way out, we see all these taxi guys trying to get everybody's money and their attention from the
Yeah.
airport. He says, "Hey, don't trust these men. They're all scam artists."
Yes.
Says, "Come with me. I got a guy myself." Here pulls up the most colorful truck ever. A beautiful,
I love it.
open-ended, somewhere between a tuk-tuk and a UPS truck. They call it the Kenny Rogers cab.
No. The guy comes out. So the actual Kenny Rogers, who is like
name of the character.
is a no. Kenny Rogers is a celebrity, a tentpole, a vocalist in America.
Oh, you're talking about the singer, Kenny Rogers.
the singer
the
Kenny
gambler.
Rogers.
Yes.
But this character specifically said, "No, I'm Kenny Roger." He omitted the S because he doesn't know. It's a joke on like Asian pronunciation that he's like, "Oh, Kenny Rogers. I'm Kenny Roger."
Whoa.
You guys didn't catch that?
No,
No,
I didn't.
I only know that because my mom loves Kenny Rogers.
I love Kenny Rogers.
Yes, and that guy calls himself Kenny Roger.
Okay.
And his name in the movie, he
Whoa.
slated it as Kenny Roger.
Okay.
Dope guy.
Awesome.
Dope guy.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, did you guys, when you first watched this film, did you guys trust Pierce Brosnan? Because I didn't know if he was still a little sketch.
I don't know if I did.
I didn't. I did. I don't know how. Like I trust him, but no. Character wise, I think I did trust him because Owen Wilson is set up to be this family man. He's not set up to be like a badass in any way. And if they're gonna introduce someone right at the beginning who is kind of that like badass good guy, there's no way he's gonna. I mean, there's a chance he's going to be Sketch, but there's no one else that's been introduced who's going to, like, in an action film, pull that weight.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, okay, he's obviously being introduced for a reason.
Yeah.
No one else has been introduced. He's probably going to, pull some kind of weight.
He might be the first person whose name we learn.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's
Hammond.
the first person whose name we learn.
Yeah.
Because obviously he has big balls in this country.
Brass balls.
Yeah,
Yes.
he like fought a tiger. He has like the tiger's tooth around
Yeah.
his neck.
Yes, but guys, do we believe any of his stories?
Actually, after the shit that he pulled in this movie, I believe it.
I kind of hang on. Because of the shit that he pulled in this movie is the reason why I don't believe it.
Oh, 'cause
because he's doing actual shit that his response to people would be like, yeah, I was fighting a tiger. Like, just to, like, get this done. Like, who knows what that guy did. Like, I wonder if, like, he was actually out killing, like, Russian KGB agents.
Okay.
His,
You know
his,
what I mean?
his explanation might be questionable.
Yeah.
But his actions are the reason that he has his scars
Exactly.
is
Are actually
valid.
way more badass and way more scary than
Okay,
he could
cool,
say.
cool.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I fell down a flight of stairs. I'm
No.
going to tell this little
Right.
girl I
it's
fought
it's
a tiger.
not a children's story. It's which
An adult story?
he elaborates on later in the film. We'll get there, but
Yeah.
it's like this is more palatable for a child.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
On a
that's
plane.
Okay, cool.
It, like
And one of the things that he
Yeah.
does, and again, we'll get there, but like when he puts the necklace around her, and he says like, "Oh, my daughter gave this to me and said I would never get hurt." I don't think he had a daughter. I don't.
really.
I don't think he had a daughter. I think he knows that that's what's going to make her feel better because she says, "Well, what about bees?" And he goes, "It's going to work on her too." He didn't think about the next step of it. He didn't consider what would happen if she had a response to this
Yeah,
save all talisman.
I see that.
And then she says, well, what about bees? He goes, it'll work on her too. And then we got to go. And so I see that as him being a super smart spy, which brings me to one of my things is like, I imagine that as James Bond after he like after Pierce Brosnan's Bond got fired and they hired Daniel Craig, like that guy was still wanted to be James Bond and still had like all the training.
Yeah.
So he went and became a mercenary for some like Fortune 500 company. And now he's doing this shit and he feels bad because the scar on his arm is specifically a James Bond scar. The one on his arm is the one that Pierce Brosnan has from, I want to say Die Another Day. He gets cut. And in fact, that scar shows up in a couple of the other films too. So it's just a weird shout out. And then they also call him British CIA, which would be the MI6, which is the branch that Bond works for.
Maybe it's the same universe.
I fucking hope so. So they landed in Southeast Asia and they get on the cab with Kenny Roger.
Yes.
And he being Owen Wilson is always so aware of what's happening around him that even on the drive out, we're watching the city fall into chaos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When they first leave, they're going through these tuk-tuks and you're seeing families. You're seeing families on motorcycles and stuff. And then all of a sudden you see the palace being surrounded by barbed wire. You see people having guns pointed at them. And then they get to the resort and it's like, okay, we're here. We don't have to worry about that. We're here protected behind these walls. But you know what's happening on the other side. You know, you can pretend that it's not.
Yeah.
But it is. It is. And they get...
And like Owen Wilson, I like the whole. I think they somehow foreshadowed Kenny Rogers in importance, like how it's the
Kenny Rogers apostrophe S.
apostrophe s, yes. That's why it was so hard for me to say. But his importance, like, hey, keep your eyes on the road. Like he's just kind of like this, like, I don't pay attention, I'm gonna get you guys killed. That I think it was a foreshadowing of like, oh, he's gonna save us later. The irony of like he's a bad driver, but this guy is so he was able to get like shots on the people later,
yeah.
right? He
Well,
he was able to protect them.
I didn't see that as foreshadowing. I just saw that as his cover is so good that to us lay people, we don't even understand.
He's playing the role
He's
of
such
this
a loud,
like careless taxi driver.
That's the Kenny Rogers cab. Everybody sees the Kenny Rogers cab. How could you not see the Kenny Rogers cab?
Yeah.
But that's the guy who's got like. Anyways, we'll get there. So we'll get there.
We will.
The name of this episode is We'll Get There. They get to the hotel, and Jack has a beautiful welcome wagon there. His face is plastered all over.
Like a banner.
A banner. It says, Welcome Cardiff Engineers.
Yes.
They go out to the hotel, and they immediately realize that this resort is not all that it's cracked out to be.
Yeah, the telephone lines aren't working.
Nope, the television has a remote chained to it.
Basically, like most of the things that you would expect should work don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his family's like, oh, this is weird. Like, they brought their own rice cooker.
That was funny. That was a funny
That
joke.
was funny.
I actually really liked that.
That is one of my favorite back and forth, especially when it comes back.
Yeah.
Yes, the one of the lights don't work. The television does not have cable.
And Owen Wilson being such a great dad, what is his response to the kid saying? This light switch doesn't work.
He said, I don't know. What
He
did
says,
say?
you know what?
He says, like, that's what I like about this place. Like, it's so unpredictable. You
That's
flip
what
the
it
light
is.
the
switch,
mystery. Yeah.
You don't know if it's going to turn something
Such a good
on.
dad, able to flip something that could easily ruin a day into like, ooh,
Yep.
this is fun for kids.
Such a
Great
good
father.
Yep.
dad.
They call it a fourth world country. I
They
think
do.
They do, but yes.
They do.
Have you ever read an economic hitman or the story of an economic hitman?
No.
No.
It's this crazy book where they actually like discuss what the difference is between like a first world, a second world, and a third world country. And like this movie kind of actually very clearly dictates what a third world country is.
But didn't they call it a fourth?
They did. I think that's one of them trying
like
to
it's
be
like
a
a
joke
joke
about.
or
Yeah, it's
something?
so
Okay.
bad. It's not even a third world
Got it,
country.
got it.
Because a first world country is, and back in the Cold War eras, this is when these terms came out. First world countries are the USA and Russia and England and France, and these are all first world countries.
Sure.
Second world countries are countries like, at that time, Iraq or Vietnam or Singapore, countries that are truly dependent on other countries to help them succeed. Cuba, they're dependent directly on Russia to succeed. They're a second world country. They have aligned with this other group. That's what makes them. A third world country is a country that isn't aligned with any one of the major powers, yet has to directly use them to influence their government. So what that means is America or Russia or England goes into a country like South Africa or Singapore or Iraq, and they say, hey, look, we'll build you, just like they say in the movie, freeways, waterways, malls, shopping centers. We'll build you all this stuff. And then literally on the contract that they're signing, it's such an insane return percentage that they know they can't ever pay it back. So America goes in and they said, look, you owe us billions of dollars. The answer is you build us a military fort here. You give us all your diamonds. You give us all your oil. You give us prominence in the Red Sea. That's what countries have been doing
fucked up,
since they started colonizing places.
Let's give them an offer that they can't resist, but something that they can't fulfill. You know,
That's truly what that is.
and so that will own you.
100% the theme of this film. And I think we should explain that is the catalyst
For the rebellion.
to what happens in this film.
Yes. Yeah.
The catalyst in this film is like, well, do you want to you want to take it away? Because that's essentially what happens. What you just explained is like that's the conflict in this film. And Owen Wilson and his family are caught up in this,
they're just cogs in the machine, literally.
but they're also players.
But he
he's a
doesn't
player.
but he
But
doesn't
he doesn't know,
understand.
but-
that's why I think, he's just part of the
I think that's okay. We'll get there as the theme is, but I think that's what makes this film to me really great is that he's a cog. He doesn't know it, but he very much is responsible. He's culpable.
Yeah. Well, his intentions are different. He thinks that he is being brought into this company that is providing clean water for this third world country, when in essence, like you said, it is a first world country taking over the water resources of this third world country so that they could enslave, quote unquote, the people of this third world country.
Exactly.
And so, especially with his face on that banner,
Yep.
that is basically a wanted sign.
Yeah.
And these rebels are bloodthirsty.
their chant is literally blood for water.
Blood for water.
They're so
Brutal.
upset by this water deal that they want nothing but to kill anybody involved with this water deal.
Now, is that okay,
Realistic?
The realism is like, are they willing to kill anyone innocent if they have no correlate? Because they're killing people of their own race too.
Yep.
Yes, but like Pierce Brosnan says, it's because they believe that if they don't, it's their children and their children's children who'll be forced into slavery and have to pay back the debts that they didn't owe. right? So these people who are fighting for the rebellion, this is why, like, I kind of understand why the rebels are coming from. Are they going about it the wrong way? Again, yeah,
Yes.
they're probably going about it like the most violent, actually, like, definitively fascist way of doing it. But they're doing it because, like every villain, they believe they're protecting themselves from one side or another.
Yeah.
Right? But who do we care about more? We care more about Owen Wilson and his family. We want them to succeed. We want them to survive. That's just how the movie shapes out. But, I mean, imagine if you lived in a country where someone else came in and said, hey, we're going to take over everything and we're going to butt fuck you and we know we're going to do it and this is what we do all the time and there's nothing you can do about it. And then you realize, like, actually, there is quite a bit we could do about it. We could actually kick all of you guys the fuck out of here and make sure you never come back.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Well, that's like, it's where the line's a little vague. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I understand why they want to, like, kill Owen Wilson. His face is on the banner of the company that's taking over their water resources, right? But, like, his kids and, like, maybe these other people just staying at the hotel for whatever the fuck reasons. I don't know.
Yeah, that's that's
Coups aren't bloodless.
that's like the two things about this film that I really like and what I'm kind of confused about. What I'm kind of confused about, and I get it, but it's not really explained, is like you see a lot of people be killed in this film that aren't necessarily white people who work for this company. It's like
A lot of help.
it's like government versus not government, and it's not exactly made clear, but what am I trying to say? Like, they're saying, oh, we're so mad that this company is coming in. Yeah. Let's kill everyone associated with this company. But it's more than that. It's like a government overthrow. It's like, obviously the government said, yeah, let's bring this company in. Let's do this.
The prime minister was shaking hands with
Exactly.
Cardiff.
And the prime minister is killed in the first scene.
Yep.
And it all kind of ties together, but it's like, it's a little unclear. I think, and that's what gets kind of confusing. Like, you see all these people being killed, and it's like, well, what did
they do?
What did that person have to do with this?
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Like,
totally
the bellhop
clear.
of the I'm sorry, what is it called?
The
Imperial Lotus Hotel.
Yeah.
The bellhop was bleeding, and
Yeah.
he's just a bellhop.
He's just like a guy
of that same country.
Yeah, he's like, I just work here.
But
and-
exactly, he works for them, though.
True. Yeah.
He's servicing them.
And that's the
Ah,
mentality
okay.
of like, you're aiding this.
Yep. You're either with us or
and
against
this-
us.
yeah, exactly. And I get it. But it's a little unclear at
But
times.
look at how-
there's shots of like people dead in the street, and you're just like, well, what did that guy do? Like, I don't get
Yeah.
it. But
Very
like,
early on, when he's running, when the riot first pops off, and Owen
Right.
Wilson is running back to the hotel. At one point, he like runs past a dude who's just beating the shit out of a dead body with a stick.
Oh yeah,
it's
I
just
saw
like
that.
it's like
One dude.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. I don't think the person he's beating up was a cop. I don't think that guy was one of the rebels. I don't like know what's happening here.
Yeah.
I think like probably the one and only, and it's the main issue of this movie is just how vague it is. It's just a little vague, and I understand.
I was gonna say, but aren't horror films kind of vague? In a small town, this serial killer goes crazy.
No,
Or
usually
in-
they call it like in Halloweensville. You know, they at least name it.
At least
like
name
this,
it.
that,
Yes,
they at least
we've
name
already,
it.
We've already established that not naming it at all was a big mistake on their part. But
Something, and I want to give a big shout out to one of our producers, Alan Boo, who gave us an immense list of notes. These notes are extremely detailed from like
best
head to
episode
toe. It is so good. I was talking to him on the phone yesterday about this movie because he couldn't be here because I had shifted the day. He said that something that would have made this movie a little better was if we were given a slight perspective on the rebels end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where were they coming from? Because yes, Pierce Brosnan gives us a little bit of insight, like they're just people fighting for their families for clean water.
Yeah.
But if we could see it from their end a little bit,
yeah, because if they wanted their family to have clean water, wouldn't they let the Americans in still and like let them build the stuff first and then revolt? I mean, I'm not trying to tell the rebels how to do their job, but I would let them build the thing first and then take over. Because clearly they took over tanks very fast. Tanks and helicopters right away. They had access to like the biggest military aspects immediately. So you should have probably let the Americans build the shit and then take over.
I think what you're saying, like there's like this vague aspect to this film of like how do they get that tank? How did they do this or that?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
But
They have one helicopter?
But I will say, because I don't remember them ever saying this is this country.
No, yeah.
And I kind of think that's intentional because there's this whole like white colonialism theme to this whole film that they don't have to say, this happened in this country, because it's happened all over. And just showing what's happened is very powerful, and not confining it to one place and saying this is the history of this country, because you could easily fact check that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You could just say this is what, as Pierce Brosnan explains at some point, which is like the only real explanation of like, this is why they're so upset.
Yep.
But it's a very generalized. It's generalized.
He's explaining.
It's like,
he's explaining third
it's
world.
like this is what countries who are first world countries do to third world countries, essentially, right? And it just happens to be white people who are doing it to other countries.
Shocker.
Exactly. And I think that's powerful, and also in the film aspect it makes it a little vague where you're like, well, like why is this happening,
In cinema where everything
fine,
has to be
whatever.
so concise and explained, at the least you have to set the place, the person, and the problem.
It helps.
Yeah. And they're literally like, what if like fuck the place, we just do everything else?
Yeah.
Which, okay, yeah.
I get it.
Sure,
but
that's what we're doing.
But it raises those questions of like, well, where is this? Like, to a viewer, you're like, what is like, where is this place?
Yeah.
But conceptually, it's a good message. It's
good allegory.
It makes the point, and you're like, damn, that's fucked up. And I think the cool part about it, which we haven't really talked about, Owen Wilson and his family. Owen Wilson and his wife aren't really what you care about. What you care about is his kids, who are this, like, they're innocent. They're the innocent people in this thing that's happening, the same way that people in these countries that are kind of being like taken over, they're kind of innocent.
They don't understand what's going on.
They're just there, and it's being done to them. And you feel bad, like, damn, I can't believe that happened to these people. I can't believe this is happening to these kids. And that's like, I think to me, that's what makes this film really interesting, because you're like, I get why these people are upset, but I care about these kids. I don't really give a shit about Owen Wilson and his wife. They're good, like, surrogates to, like, they express like, oh, I care about these kids. But you're like, they're innocent.
Yeah.
They're innocent in this. And the people in these countries who are getting fucked over, they're innocent too.
Like, honestly, I didn't care as much if, like, Owen Wilson or his wife, Annie, got killed.
Yeah.
But, like, his kids, like, I want to talk about one of the most breathtaking scenes in this entire movie. Was when they had to go from one building to the other. And he was telling his wife, you have to jump from here to there. And obviously, they had to jump from one building to another. And obviously, it was a big leap, because when his wife was finally convinced to jump off, she had bloodied knees,
blows
and
herself
hands,
out,
and
yeah.
like and arms and whatnot. It was a big jump.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense for her to muster up the courage to do that jump. She's an adult. But when he says, okay, kids, come here, I'm going to throw you from this building to the next. I don't know how much adrenaline I would need in my fucking system
But he does
to
it right,
throw
though.
my child.
Yeah.
But doesn't he do it in the most intense way, where, like, for the
does.
first one he does it right, where he says, tell me about the bulldog we're gonna get you.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, I want to name it this thing. And he goes, that's not a better name than this. And she goes, and like before he even finishes the question, he throws her, because she won't have time to react or like question, and like she's so focused. He's, again, such a great dad. He's able to rationalize his own fear, his own adrenaline, and calm it down. And then when he's talking to Lucy,
Yeah.
he's like, look, I'm scared too. He's like, but we have to do this.
Yeah.
Fucking Lucy. Fucking Lucy.
Yeah,
when he goes to throw Lucy and she holds onto his neck and she is hanging there at the edge of the building because she held on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm mad at him or at her or at gravity, but I'm mad at something because she is hanging. And imagine Annie, the wife, just like, oh my God, that is my daughter, my firstborn daughter, hanging off the edge of a building right now. Holy fuck, dude.
I mean, this movie makes me have to take deep breaths. Like you said, you didn't pause this movie. I hardly ever pause movies either. Or I hardly ever pause movies when we're watching them because I like to sit through it all.
Yeah.
But this one I had to keep pausing just so I could catch my breath. Literally, just so like after scenes like that where I could just be like,
Can you throw a kid? Can you throw your kid?
Like literally
really
after
heavy.
that scene, it's like an onslaught of just like tension. It's hard.
they never break it.
There's exactly. There's no break. It's just like, damn, this is real now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I saw that scene where he's throwing his kids off the roof, and I thought it was so fucking funny. I thought it was the funniest shit. And when that whole sequence ended, I didn't think it was funny anymore.
Because you realize
I was like, damn, this is a real film. Like, but it doesn't get fun. Like,
it doesn't get funny till the
It's
end.
real
No,
from that point on.
the use of slow motion on the roof scene in particular, when they first get the doors open to go onto the roof, and it's slow motion as they're coming out, when Owen Wilson and Lake Bell are running to like make the jump, it's that to me is such a perfect like horror film, maybe like a zombie film trope where it's like slow, where everything when the helicopter shows up, it's so bad, you know, we're seeing it all happen in slow motion.
Yeah.
We
but
didn't
they
even talk about the helicopter.
Do it so perfectly. They pace it out so slowly, yet the tension building is through the roof.
That was that reminded me of like a lot of zombie tropes because like in a lot of zombie films there are a lot of moments and scenes where like, oh, these are the survivors of this first wave of zombies, and like here where we think we're safe, and right when we think we're absolutely like in the clear, boom. In this movie, they thought they were all in the clear. They were all happy. They were with their families. And they're like, that's a helicopter, see? Like, and now Owen Wilson's making jokes to his family because they think they're going to get saved. And they see the helicopter rise. It pivots. And you see this Asian guy with an AK-47 just go doot, 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 doot on everyone. Children and all.
Brutal.
Crazy, dude. Like, what a turn of events.
Yeah. It's...
I mean, the only reason why I knew the helicopter sound was going to be bad was because it was still only 40 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
It's too early. Yeah.
That's the only reason where I was like, the Americans couldn't have come this quick.
The only reason.
So from that rooftop that they have to run away from, they find themselves in another building, hiding. And like we had kind of talked about earlier, they get a nice knock on the door from a tank. A tank that shoots... blows the entire building up pretty much.
Yeah.
Fucks everything up, honestly. Like,
Fucks it up so much where they use dead bodies and debris to hide in for the night until they get found by another rebel, where we get to see Owen Wilson cross the line and do what he has to do. Only kill.
Yeah, his only kill.
No, he shoots some guys later. Never mind.
Yeah.
does he?
In the final, right before the boat.
Yes.
He does.
Yeah,
He does.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is his first. But again, in a lot of films that generally go this way, he would do that kill, and then he turns into Rambo.
Yep.
Now he's got a gun and a knife, and he's doing But no, not at all. He does that. It visibly shakes him to the point. It shakes him to the point where when they are running away, she has to like remind him like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You have to focus on what's happening now. I'm going to take charge. And he says, I'm going to take charge. I'm going to lead. This is what we're doing. And he's, in his moment of shock and fear where he has to just accept it and has to just go with it.
The foreigner coming in, or the rebel coming in and yelling, "Foreigner, foreigner, foreigner." That was such a pivotal moment.
He's just a big fan of the band.
And also, he just didn't. Also, that guy just didn't learn. I love it. That guy just didn't learn because Owen Wilson was like, "Hey, I have a family. Shut the fuck up."
He doesn't understand what he's saying.
Oh, that also that. Like,
He doesn't know what he's saying. Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Okay, foreigner, foreigner, foreigner."
Yeah, I mean, all he knows is like, shut up, right? I mean, It reminds me vaguely of the scene from Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
With the knife scene, right, when he's like slowly like stabbing him in, and he's like talking to this German guy, and he's like, they don't speak each other's language, they don't know, they're both
she's like, hey, yo,
terrified,
wait.
they're both scared, trying to fight for their life, and like
That's the scary
So-
part.
so-
Well, they easily could have just been like, okay, let's chill. I'm not gonna kill you if you don't kill me.
because
That does happen later in the film.
yeah, I was just gonna say,
Yes.
And it's
beautiful, very poetic.
It is. It's a weird thing in this film because it's like I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Just like it's a nice contrast of like this person doesn't give a shit that this guy has a family, and this guy later is like, oh, I see you have a family.
yeah.
I feel it.
It changes it, yeah.
I feel that you have a family, and that's what you're trying to protect. And that's what I'm saying. It's not about Owen Wilson. It's not about his wife. It's about his kids. And I think that's like that's what makes you care about the characters in this film. I don't give a shit at any point about Owen Wilson.
Oh,
He doesn't do
Wow.
anything. He doesn't do anything that I'm like, oh, I hope Owen Wilson makes it out of this. Like, oh,
Yeah.
no, it's like I see his kids and his love for his kids and how he's a dad to the kids, and you're like, I don't want those kids to die. And it's weird because those kids aren't really given personalities. You get this weird explanation of like, how was I born? And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of dumb because it's fucking kind of stupid when they reveal how it happens. But whatever. But it doesn't matter because you're like, damn, those are kids. They're innocent in all of this. And that's what you care about.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they
It's
constantly,
wild to me.
and they're constantly reminding us the innocence of these children. We're
Yep.
constantly reminded the fact of her being like, "Oh, I'm hungry," or like,
Yep.
I
my
gotta go
feet hurt.
pee.
I have to go pee.
That scene where they are hiding within rubble and behind dead bodies, and the youngest daughter saying, I have to go pee, and the mom saying, just go in your pants, and like her trying to like, this is something that you guys have instilled within me, and like I have to go in my pants right, like,
I'm not a baby.
and not even understanding like the political conflict going on, and like they had no time to explain like, oh, there's a coup going on, and like
Here's
your
what
dad
happens
works for a
in
water company.
countries, yeah,
Right,
that
right,
are
right.
underserved and underutilized.
Okay, this is a third world country, and we come from a first world
Yeah,
country.
we're white people, and
this is America.
This is what we did to everyone. And it's just like, no, it's like distilled to like, I have to pee. And it's like, damn, I fucking like, I feel that.
I get it.
You don't know what's going on, and I fucking feel what you're going through. Like,
Yeah.
I think that it's crazy. It's crazy that this film does that. And on the surface, it's just like Owen Wilson is in an action flick in some Asian country. And you're like, the fuck is this? Like, it's wild to me. 'Cause
Owen
that's-
Wilson
'cause that's
running
how-
away from Asians.
Yeah,
with
that's how I
babies.
went into this film. And halfway through the film, you're like, what is happening? Like, I care about these kids. And like,
So invested. So
Yeah.
invested from 10 minutes in. Like, I
It's
was
crazy.
invested.
So
crazy.
okay, you guys were talking about when he runs into another rebel and they like let each other pass. That was like
Yes.
the motorcycle scene
Yeah.
when he's going through the crowd.
So
right?
when they're escaping, they steal a motorcycle and they get caught up in a celebratory parade.
It's like a mob celebrate. Yeah, they're
Kind of
celebrating, but
looking
it's,
for Jack at the same time.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
looking for other people to kill. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, exactly.
And
Would
it's-
that happen realistically?
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah, look
You
at like
think you get
look,
through that?
Look at like the riots that happened. I mean,
You could drive the opposite way though.
if you're going, but look what happened. It's difficult. You're going against the stream, but salmon do it every year.
Okay, and no one's looking at your face. You think?
Potentially. I mean, like if mob mentality is happening and if you're in a country where you're traveling through by motorcycle, that's the mode
Yeah.
of transportation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't question it.
Potential.
Yeah.
You know, you have a family, you got to get to point
Bring the mic closer to your face real
from
quick.
A to B and shit like that.
Yeah.
I yeah.
Potential.
I think
Potential.
it's again. It would be weird if like you were to point it out, but
Yeah.
because it's there, if you're in the moment and something's going on, you're not gonna be like, "Did you see that motorcycle drive by?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
motorcycles drive by all the time." What do
You know
mean?
what Alan pointed out to me? He said that when the motorcycle fell and they all like fell, it wasn't more so like his American eyes when they locked eyes that gave it away, but there was a shot where they focus in on his shoes, and Nike isn't he wears Nikes, and Nikes aren't readily available in third world countries.
Interesting.
They're bootleg versions of Nikes.
Right.
I noticed that he was pulling his hair back over his ears.
Yeah.
And they're not a lot of blonde
Yes.
Asian people. I thought that's what really gave it away. But you're right though.
It's a factor of multiple things.
The shoes do come back right away because you
The
couldn't
shoes for sure.
Yeah.
you couldn't tell who he was because he fooled somebody else in that disguise earlier by just kind of like by playing it off. So
Yeah.
But even think at the
they
end,
really do set everything up and like kind of like bring it back.
as vague as this movie is, there's a lot of attention to detail with some of those moments. Because, like, think about the fisherman, bringing it back to the shoes. The fisherman was like, "Okay, I'll let you do this if you give me your shoes."
He didn't even want the watch.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
give a shit
Gold
about
watch.
the gold watch. He's like, oh, those
Give
are
me the shoes.
Those
Those
are
are-
real shoes. Like,
Those are
or
nice.
those are real Nikes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, boom, there you go. I think that's an
Boom.
incredible attention to detail, dude.
Boom. There you go. Now you got
Boom, there
Nikes.
you Dude,
The motorcycle scene going through and hiding in the garden house.
Yeah. They go to like I think they just happen to cross. They're just in the area and they like knock on a door and it's like a
Kick open a door.
like an outdoor garden.
yeah.
I don't. Yeah,
That's the only
It
way
is
to
what it
describe
is.
it. Yeah. There's an old man there who, again, doesn't speak English and is
He
telling
owns
them
the
to
garden.
leave. And he's like, no, family, family. And he says,
He
okay,
understands that he has a family. Yeah.
okay, so hide. He hides them. And then, sure enough, the rebels get there and the rebels are questioning the old man. They're punching the old man and they're slapping him around. And they realize, they got to be here. So they're going to start searching for the family. And as they start searching, Jack has his opportunity. Owen Wilson has his opportunity to steal a gun, to grab a gun. And right as he's about to do it, the guy turns around and he grabs the gun. And then
Yeah, man.
Lake Bell sacrifices, a moment to distract them so he can grab the gun. And then this turns into one of the most intense scenes in the film
Yeah.
when they have caught the parents. The children are hiding. The rebels are a minute away from doing the worst things to his wife and then shooting him in the head. And then we see Hammond being forced and shoved into this area. He's being pushed in by one of the rebels and he's saying, hey, I have guns. I have money. I can give you whatever you want. And then he's put down on his knees and he's like, I can get you guns. I can get you all the guns you want. And then him and the guy who's pointing a gun at him
Kenny Rogers
turns into Kenny Rogers and they kill most of the bad guys. And he's there to save the day again.
It turns into like almost immediate comedic relief because now they're safe. We as viewers feel safe.
Yep.
And now like Pierce Brosnan and Kenny Rogers are having this
I said 2. He's like, no, you said 3. And he's like, that one's 3. No, that one's 2.
Stuff like that.
They have that moment of kind of silliness, which is
bickering.
kind of almost uncouth for what they just almost made us watch.
Can we just give a shout out to what's his wife's name?
Lake Bell.
Lake Bell. What's her name in the film?
Annie.
Annie is a fucking she'll put herself into like a real situation. She's a real
She's
like
MVP.
an unsung hero in this film. She'll see that Owen Wilson's character is in danger and she'll be like, I got to get him out of here. I'm going to
doing
put
it.
myself in danger. And she puts herself in real danger. She's a fucking homie.
Yeah.
Like for real.
She doesn't even question it.
She doesn't. She's just like, this is what I got to do.
Yeah.
And she does it.
Yeah.
So mad respect to her.
Because one response could be, I'm going to not do that and I'm going to protect the children, or I'm going to not do that. But no, her response is, I'm going to do this and save him because together we can help. Apart we may not be as strong
together
as
we
think
can get out of this. Yeah,
It's beautiful.
She
She saves his ass twice.
Yeah, she throws
She's
it down.
smart. She's definitely smart. She's dealing with, and like on top of that, like how much is she dealing with emotionally? Remember she was crying in the bathroom at the beginning of the movie?
Yep.
Because she's like shifting her life away from like, let's go from Texas, where I'm familiar, to this third world country where you got hired, and these are the consequences. I can't imagine. That was her second day there.
Yeah.
They just landed. They went to sleep.
Yeah.
They woke up, and now there's a coup.
She's legit ride or die. She's just
Yeah.
like there. She's like,
That's a
this is what I
good
have
wife.
to do. She's like, fuck, I got to do this.
Yeah, man.
She's like Letty from Fast and the Furious.
Which one's that?
Letty's the one that's with Dominic Toretto.
Oh, and you know what they say, family.
That's exactly what they say. That's literally all they say.
I just whipped it.
I saw. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna push in. Boom.
They get saved by Hammond, and he brings him to a safe house. Which the best part about the safe house he brings him to, it's an opium whorehouse.
Yeah.
That he has an apartment on the top floor.
He's like
you're
a
gonna be safe
fucking
here.
regular there.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing about his character. He's just like this, like, he's like, I come here a lot, but I'm mostly here for the girls. And
I wear sweatpants and strip clubs.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been here
So
15
comfortable.
times.
Women love to please. You know how it is.
Yeah.
He's kind of unlikable, but continue.
He's doing bad things, but he's doing it in a cool way.
Yeah.
He's, he was very charming, like right before everything hit the fan at the bar. And then there was like that. Okay, one of the funniest lines real quick was when Owen Wilson points out like the 2-part band playing at the karaoke bar. And he says, is he playing a Casio on top of a grand piano?
Yeah.
And he's just like, yep.
Welcome to Asia, mate.
Yep, exactly. So funny, and I thought he was charming there. That's when I trusted him, because on the airplane ride, I was like, "Ooh, there's something still sketch about."
Very
Pierce
scary.
Brosnan.
A man with a scar on his eyebrow.
Yeah,
Very scary in the movie.
but then he eventually they go through the whorehouse. They gave them a place of like
They feed him can chow chicken.
yes, they lie to the kids, saying
How else are you gonna? I mean, he's right. They need their strength.
Yeah,
They need
for
protein.
sure.
Can chow chicken's dog, by the way, if you haven't seen the film.
and then he tells the kids, these are the chickens were fed raisins, right?
The chickens were fed raisins. That's why
that's
they
why
taste
they
Why
taste
sweet.
it's like
sweet.
sweet.
And then they go, well, what are the chickens fed in America? And Pierce Brosnan goes, huh? Again,
Other
Pierce Brosnan
chickens.
didn't prepare for a follow-up
chicken?
question. I don't know.
Did you say chicken?
Chickens, I think, yeah.
Other
Other
chickens.
chickens, probably. Like,
So funny.
Yeah.
such a dig on factory farming. Honestly, guys, hunt your own food. So they finally have a night, or not even a
They
night.
have like 4 hours, right?
if they even get
Realistically,
all
4
4
hours.
Yeah.
But what I found really pretty about that moment is, Lake Bell and Owen Wilson have this moment of like, this is the worst moment of my life.
Yeah.
Yet I wouldn't change my life for any of this, right? Like they ask straight up about their regrets and what they wish they could have changed. And, I think in moments like this, you definitely learn how important your love is and how deep your love is when you wouldn't change even the worst times for the best.
What'd you think about that scene, Rob?
Yeah, I very much agree. Like, to kind of bring it back real quick, when I saw Owen Wilson was cast in this film, off the bat, like on paper, I'm like, this sounds dumb.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Owen Wilson he's not meant for this role. But watching the film and watching how he's set up to interact with his kids, you really care about the kids and kind of their relationship.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone better to put in that situation, to be like, we're in this fucked up situation and let's have a moment of like, I wouldn't want to
Real.
be anywhere else.
Yeah.
And Owen Wilson, and he's just perfect for that role. Like, both of them are just like, haha, like, this sucks, but at least we're here together. Like,
Yeah.
that's my takeaway. I'm just like, damn, you guys fucking cast this so well. I can't imagine feeling empathy for anyone else in this role besides Owen Wilson at this moment.
He made it work, man.
He did.
He's such a likable actor.
It trips me the fuck out because I saw the film, I saw it and I'm like, Owen Wilson, no way is this going to be good. And I'm blown away at every moment that he's in it. I'm just like, damn, that was an amazing casting.
He did it well.
He did
it well.
I care about this family at every point through the story.
And you could tell he cared about this role much more than like comedic roles that he's done in the past.
Yeah.
Because he's usually just doing the Owen Wilson thing, right?
It's wild.
Doing Shanghai Noon.
Exactly. It's fucking wild. You feel his love for his kids. It's constant throughout the entire thing, and he's likable. You're like, oh, I care what happens to him and his family. Like, Jesus Christ.
That's why I thought he was gonna have to make the ultimate sacrifice. I mean, about halfway through the film, I was like, "Oh, I know how this is gonna end. He's gonna have to. How else are they gonna get out of this? There's no other way."
Yeah.
He thought he was going to give up his own life.
I could not see.
Well, he almost did.
I mean, he. So they have to get a boat. Pierce Brosnan
Yep.
tells them that the only way out of here is to get a boat and head downstream to Vietnam. Well, they'll be considered as asylum seekers, and they will be protected there. Yep. And then they get ambushed by rebels, and Kenny Roger gets shot in the head. And
Rest in peace. One of the most disappointing deaths.
yeah, because it
so
was
quick.
It was but ain't that real?
Yeah, it's real. It was realistic. It happens that fast.
Yeah.
Happens
And
that
just
fast.
suddenly now here's somebody who's been on 1,000 missions.
And then Pierce Brosnan, Hammond, he gets shot in the gut.
right through the
literally right after. I think that's something I really like about this film and something I kind of dislike about this film. I'll explain on that. I dislike that they die literally like one after the other
Boom, boom.
within
No space.
20 seconds because I think it could have been spaced out a little bit. Kill one person.
See his
Pierce
reaction.
Brosnan does something tight and gets them a little farther. He has a little bit of a like, I got you this far. You know what I mean? I also really like it that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I really like that they kept it real. Like, he's not superhuman. He's just a dude.
Yes.
He did this. This guy died. He did this one thing. He's dead. You guys are kind of fucked. Figure it out. I like that. I hate when films make someone a superhuman. Like, I'm gonna fucking do hella headshots. This is unbelievable.
Again, they turn into Rambo.
Keep it real.
Yeah.
You've opened my eyes to something because we were probably anticipating that Pierce Brosnan, ex James Bond, was going to be this guy that was going to save the day to the very, very end. Maybe die at the end.
Yeah.
But he died in the middle. Last half.
Mid to end.
Towards the end, but he doesn't do much after
He's
the
not
other
even
person
in the
dies.
movie much. He's
Yeah,
maybe
he
15 minutes of
He's
screen
there.
time tops.
He helps out a little bit, and then he's dead. And It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it.
Alan was saying that he wished that Pierce Brosnan was there more, that he felt like that he was kind of just like what Arnold Schwarzenegger was to
Savage.
What was that movie? The other movie that we did on the podcast with directed by Taron Killam. What that was?
Killing Gunther.
Killing Gunther, like that kind of like we'll put him on the poster. He's going to be in less than half of
tag.
the film, and then we'll get the cash grab from that. Yes, but also I think they used him effectively for the time that he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he did buy them time.
Yeah.
And the way he went, like I loved it.
Best death, I think, in the history of ICBTB, that's maybe my favorite death that we've seen.
Because he's ready to just bleed out.
Seen a lot of death, and he's literally like, "Fuck, I have to."
They're not gonna make it.
All right, get up.
I like that death. Like, it's
The shoot the truck.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
it's a little cheesy, fine, but like it's
Goes
it's,
out like a champ.
It's not overly heroic. He plays his role.
Yep.
He does what his character was meant to do.
It's not like
and he
he's-
doesn't do anything more.
Yeah, it's not like he stood up and then like jumped into the car and
Yeah,
like
he-
turned it
yeah.
and then got them into a boat. Like
Yes.
no, he did. He waited to the very last second when he could do it. He could only get one shot. He was smart enough to know when he has to do it. And
He knew exactly, like, okay, this is it. This is it. I'm dead.
Can I just say one thing?
What?
Because this is kind of funny. I got this film confused with Roadhouse. And,
Really?
And for some reason, I remember this scene by the river where they're fighting.
Yep.
And I was like,
waiting for Patrick Swayze.
yes. And in my mind, I was like, there's going to be this kickboxing scene by the river. And I was like, but there's no way it's going to be Owen Wilson because he doesn't have that skill. And I'm like waiting for someone to like initiate this kickboxing like dope ass scene.
Oh my God.
And then obviously it doesn't happen. I'm like, holy fuck, this is the wrong film. That's not happening in this
So
film.
funny.
There was no honky tonk bar. There was
There's
no Patrick
not-
Swayze.
which is an amazing film. I fucking love Roadhouse.
we both love Roadhouse. I believe it's your
Roadhouse
father's favorite
is
film.
Amazing.
It's a tent pole in his life.
but that doesn't happen in this film. And
No.
I'm like, and then
That's the most outlandish
I
thing.
was like, yeah, okay, this is not gonna happen in this film.
That's so funny that you mixed those two up. I never would have crossed those two
I don't
worlds
know.
together.
I don't know either, man.
Holy
It's almost
shit.
like watching No Escape Room instead of No Escape.
Pretty sure Patrick Swayze passed away before this
Probably
was like
the
shot.
basic. Yeah,
I don't think so.
no,
late-
but
2015.
that ending fight scene, and I'm happy that it happened this way. Owen Wilson, he hides under a boat,
Yep.
and they figure out that he's under this boat. And while this is happening, his wife and his 2 daughters are hiding
Under a building.
like under
house or
like a
something.
shack or
Yeah.
something. Like, and I love that his wife is the one. Sorry, what's her name?
Lake Bell.
Lake
Annie.
Bell. But Annie. I love that Annie is the one who comes out
And saves the
saves
day.
them because she's
saves the day from
what's
what?
happening.
So
because she's been holding it down the entire time. She's kind of the unsung hero.
Yeah.
She's
I agree.
there. She's not the
she
center
is
of
the hero.
attention.
Yeah.
But in this scene, she's the one who comes out and saves Owen Wilson, saving the kids.
Is
and
this-
the kids is what you care about.
Is this the perfect Mother's Day movie?
Not the perfect one, but
I think it's
You
all
can
about
swing
moms.
it that way.
Power to the moms.
If you maybe
I think it's a mom movie. I'm
I
gonna
could
make
be
my
down.
mom watch this on Mother's
I
Day
could be
next year.
down.
it's just that scene. Just a few scenes where she saves
No,
the day.
she's
The whole thing. She's gotta watch the whole thing.
She's really there the entire time.
Yeah.
But she's
Holding
not
it
given
down.
the spotlight.
Never,
But
dude.
she's constantly
Hollywood.
holding down for the family. Owen Wilson's the one who's given the spotlight, but he's kind of like, what do I do here?
You're right.
He
But
gets a lot of
she's-
help.
She's in the background. She's like, I'm
don't
holding
need
it
help.
down for everyone that you care about.
Well, let's break it down real quick. Owen Wilson's the one that got the promotion. He's the one that got the new job. He's
Yeah.
the one moving them out to a new place. He's the great dad. He's the good dad.
He is a good dad, but she's the one holding it down.
She is. She doesn't get enough attention. She doesn't. She's probably the strict mom, right? Because she's the one like telling them like go to sleep, blah 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 blah. She's like a little grumpy.
Well, the dad
Yeah.
makes deals with the kids quite a bit.
Yes.
But she's there when the dad's not.
Yeah.
She's saying, kids, do this or that. Kids, shush while your
Yeah.
dad's getting his ass kicked, so I can go fucking
Yeah.
save
She's
your
the
dad.
one saving their
she's,
lives.
She's in control of the kids. Owen Wilson is trying to figure it out. No disrespect to him, but she's in charge of the kids, and the kids are the ones who are really giving away positions. The kids are what you care about.
Yeah.
She's in charge. So like, I don't want to discount anything she does, and I feel bad that I forgot that her name was Annie, but she held it down for this
She
family.
did. She's great. That actress was great. That character was written well, and it brings justice that she's the one that saves the day at the very end. Because if not, well, let's break it down to the baddies. What was it like? The Asian rebel was making the daughter hold a gun.
Lucy was
God.
gonna shoot Owen Wilson in the fucking
That's
face.
the
such
face.
a rough scene.
And
That
it-
was so. And Owen Wilson finally like has this moment of like, you have to do it, Lucy. Like,
Yeah.
just do it. It's okay. Like, it's okay. You have to do it. And like,
Yep.
that's where I was like, oh my god, he's
Is she
making.
gonna do
He's really. It's happening. It's happening right here. And then, thank God, Annie saves the
Yo.
day because
their lives are fucked after this.
their
Their lives are so
much
fucked up after this.
therapy.
They're not going to go through middle. They're not
No
going to go through
way.
middle school because they're not even in middle school
Those
yet.
kids have to be homeschooled
These
for the
kids
rest of
are
their
like
lives.
5th grade max.
Or they have to be immediately enrolled in the CIA and then just become like the world's best assassins.
Yes.
Because they've been killing since they were 10 and 11.
They're going to work for the government because they have no emotions after
Well,
this.
because the government lost their best agent, Pierce Brosnan, they
Yes.
have to replace it with somebody, their next best agent, Lucy.
Boom.
Huh?
I believe it.
No, next Bond is going to be a woman.
Hey, I'm all for it. That's very progressive, and I'm all for it, dude. Jesus Christ, this movie was incredible. They eventually get
Yeah.
To
on the
Vietnam.
Oh my God! Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
yes.
Because it's
That's actually it's one of the most important parts.
Okay. So they are on the boat finally, going on. They're on the stream. They're approaching the border to Vietnam, and there's
Christian, say it right. It's Vietnam.
I'm not gonna say it that way. Vietnam.
Vietnam.
And there is Vietnamese patrollers saying, "Hey, you cannot come here because
you are not authorized.
you're not
yeah,
authorized to be here."
you don't have clearance.
While at
essentially.
the same time, they have those Asian rebellers.
Yeah, they're like driving. So
Rebels.
yeah, so the
Why am I
family,
calling
the,
rebellers? I
the
don't know.
family is in a boat, and there's like rebels essentially driving alongside the boat with like guns pointed at the boat,
Yeah.
and that's the tension. It's like, are they going to cross the border before this? You know,
It's honestly,
Boom, boom, boom.
they're
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a gunshot Oreo.
exactly. Yeah.
Or yes, good, yes, I like that. And they eventually, I love Oreos, dude.
Yeah, me
you
too.
really spoke to my soul.
Now I get it. Oh.
When you said
I
Oreos,
didn't understand the tension of that scene until just now when you explained that it's like an Oreo.
The symbolism of like what was going on in this movie didn't make sense until you brought up that great.
The whole movie, much like a layered cake. This is the Oreo layer.
Much like a cheeseburger is stacked upon itself.
So you get the three. So you have 3 buns on a Big Mac, right? But the
yeah.
secret sauce is on all 4 sides.
You guys familiar with tres leches cake? Because that means 3 milks. First milk, this
Cow milk.
ambiguous.
Second milk, goat milk. Third milk, mother's milk.
AKA ambiguous Asian country, AKA Owen Wilson, AKA Vietnam. Okay, fuck it. Enough with the jokes. They eventually get there, and like once they cross that border, we thought Vietnam was gonna shoot them, right?
Right.
But they say no. This boat is now in
Vietnamese waters.
yes.
Question. Only flaw that I see in this entire film that makes me very upset that I have to get it off my chest now.
Only fall.
Literally. They make it very adamant that none of the rebels can speak English. So then why do the Vietnamese speak to the rebels in English and they completely understand?
Yeah.
Education.
I feel what you're saying. I think that's probably one of the flaws in this film. It's
They should have yelled at them in dialect.
It's there's this weird like you understand and then you don't understand. Like,
Well, let's put it this way: in America, in SoCal, when we are like right, the bordering country is Mexico.
yeah.
How many Californians, how many Southern Californians legitimately know like proper Spanish as opposed to like
Not a lot, but the Border Patrol agents do.
good, okay, good, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's from it would make sense that at least
So you're telling me that Vietnam doesn't know that the country right next to them is having a vicious, bloody rebellion, and they also don't know what language they speak, and like it's a
wait, isn't this just like one day?
yeah,
17
it
hours. That's what it is. The coup is
Vietnam's
happening within one
the
day.
coup didn't happen and start in one day. Like it's been boiling over for years.
Okay, sure.
It's just a little like it's a weird like a little disconnect.
That's
like-
everything's so
yeah.
Vague,
It's vague and it's specific.
well.
and
They
then
make
it's
such
like,
a strong point of that they don't speak English,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden here they are being yelled
feel
at
it.
in English.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I love it. They get
Yeah.
saved.
Yeah.
and
We could ask as many
It's
questions.
a small detail. It's a small thing.
it's legitimately my only
I
qualm.
mean, it's small, but it also changes how the film plays out. But I feel,
maybe they did speak English,
like
but they
I
were
feel what
ignoring
you're
them.
saying.
Yeah.
It's a small detail.
That's a
in
mistake.
the
I
scope.
think on the script writer's part where they're just like, yeah, and then the Vietnamese yell at them, and they're like, yeah, and the Vietnamese yell at them, and they're like,
Yeah.
what are they
What are they yelling in?
yelling at them
Yeah.
in?
What are they
Yeah,
saying?
they should have said it in that country's language. So
Since we've reached it all, I have one last note here from Alan.
Yeah.
It's a question to propose to us.
I know exactly what you're gonna ask. I
The question
love
is,
it.
who would win in a fight, Pierce Brosnan or Daniel Craig?
This is incredible.
And now, are we asking who as like men or as their bonds? Because
I'm gonna say as their bonds, as their equals, right?
I think Daniel Craig would win both of them.
I told Alan that you would say that. I'm gonna say Pierce Brosnan.
I can't say I know films that either of them are in.
Oh,
How about them as actors?
they're
if you
both
don't know?
James Bond, but
I'd say-
at different times.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, dude. Pierce Brosnan was younger. Was he younger when he did these Bond
Yeah,
films?
actually, I think Daniel Craig is now the oldest actor to play Bond.
Okay, so that's what I'm basing it off
Yeah,
of, and
yeah.
it's only because of my weird bias of like growing up in the '90s. Like, oh, that's Pierce Brosnan is James Bond.
Pierce Brosnan, and I've always said this, is the best looking Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Craig, though, is the best James Bond.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna offer right now.
Yes, we can do James Bond.
Sometime before, yes, for sure.
Oh.
Sometime before or after your birthday, but for your birthday, I want to just like let's chill with you. Let's drink a lot of drinks and like smoke a lot of weed and watch just some James Bond movies.
We can drink Stoli and eat caviar.
For sure, dude. Love. I will block out an entire day.
Oh my god, I can't wait to make you watch a whole movie about horses.
That sounds upsetting. Can
It's
we
called A
skip
View
that
to a
one?
Kill, and Christopher Walken's in it, and all of a sudden they're just like, they
we watch
spend,
all the
they
Pierce
spend a
Brosnan
good
ones?
hour and a half talking about horses, and then at the end of it, they're just like, let's go have a fight on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Let's watch all
Trust
the
me.
Pierce Brosnan ones.
No, those are so much worse because he doesn't even
No, but I
act
like
good.
Halle Berry.
She doesn't act good either.
She is great. I just watched Swordfish and
That is good acting, but have you seen Catwoman?
no.
That's bad acting.
Terrible.
Okay,
We should do Catwoman.
I would love to actually. Let's do the fucking thing and let's rate this movie. Let's get our best person on set award type of thing and all that stuff.
Guest of honor?
Out of 5?
Yes, sir.
Is there
5 being the best, 1 being the worst. 0 being
I'm going to
Christian
say
event.
3.5 because do I have to explain why?
No, I mean, not if you...
What did you call it?
3.5.
3.5. Okay.
It's good.
It's worth watching. I can see why people don't
it's
like it.
intense. I can
Yes.
understand the plot holes, but it's a good film. It's tense if you want to watch something that's like a thriller,
Yeah.
and like you really care when you don't think you're gonna care.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like what really struck me. Best person on set, I think Owen Wilson. He fucking killed it.
yeah.
Like, he's a likable dad. He's put into the role where like, do I care about this dad and his family? 100%, because Owen Wilson sells it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I think I would give it a 3.5, potentially a 3.75 if we're going to split hairs here.
Sure.
I do say, word of warning, if you have hypertension or bad blood pressure or children of your own, or you travel to the Southeast Asia land a lot, don't watch this film. It's only going to make you very anxious. And then my best person on set award is Lake Bell. She's an incredible actress as well. Also an incredibly funny actress, doing the same thing that Owen Wilson is doing in such a different role than they're normally done. Absolutely kills it for all the reasons that Rob had said earlier as a character and as an actress. My best person on set award has to be Lake Bell.
I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5 because definitely in comparison to the rest of the movies that we've done on this podcast, this is extremely underrated. This is one that I just said that I want people to see. I've watched from beginning to end without pausing. It's a good movie that's just not given enough light. Yeah, there are some plot holes. Yeah,
There's some English-speaking Vietnamese border patrol agents.
it's kind of vague, but
Kinda?
watch it. It's really vague. Like, go at least name the country, y'all. That's one of the only reasons.
Let's quickly make up a non-realistic Asian country.
Without offending anything,
Le Mao.
I'm down with Le Mao. What are the people called?
Go with that.
Le Maoese?
Le Maotian.
Le Maotian. Oh, because it's so close to Lao.
Okay.
Yeah.
Laos, I think is the name of that country.
Laos? Laotian? God, I used to like a
with
girl
that.
from Laos too.
Didn't we all, buddy?
No,
Thumbs
not all of us. Shout out that girl.
Hey, thank you, Rob, for finally showing me this film. Like I said, I remember this trailer. I remember like being semi-interested because it's Owen Wilson, but never having the balls to watch something so intense.
That's my best person on set award, by the way. Owen Wilson. I didn't get to say it. Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson did a fantastic. What are you laughing? What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
The aggression that you had jumping in right there.
Aggression, my body
The
language.
fast that I'm like. Good on you, sir. You can,
What?
I'm proud of you, man.
I don't understand
Got
how
a
I earned
handshake.
that.
Tight,
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, pal. You're doing good.
Also,
Hey,
like if I don't get it in.
you're doing good.
Thank you very much, Owen Wilson, because Owen Wilson is playing a part that he's not usually given.
Yeah.
Continue with your spiel.
That's the end of my spiel.
Yes, Rob.
Where can
thank
people
you.
find you?
Yeah.
You can find me on, I guess,
Like,
on
what's your address?
Instagram as room_2.0.8.
Are there periods now?
Yeah, it's
Once a
weird. Honestly, just yeah, I don't know. Twitter room208 I think is probably the easiest way to find me, or just message me on Instagram as robs_party.
Yeah.
I can
And
just direct you to
of the
whatever.
things will be in the description.
And they can find you
below.
on Twitch, right? Because
Yeah,
you do live streams.
I just have a bunch of it's just fucking all over the place.
Rob does it
honestly,
all.
but-
You do it all,
Yeah.
man.
I'm
Show your
there.
face to the camera. You're a very handsome guy. You're
Have you ever thought of doing like
Facially symmetric.
oil on canvas paintings? I feel like you'd be really good at paint.
No, but you could pay me if
I can paint you.
you want to.
Like use you as the canvas or paint a picture of you.
if an
Both?
artist were to actually like offer to paint you, How nude?
No.
Completely. I didn't know there was another way
Well,
to do
we
it.
have friends that like have done like nude modeling.
We do?
I don't think I would do that, but hit me up. We'll figure it out.
I'd be down
if
to
the
like
numbers right.
I'd be down, not even for a number, but I'd be down to like take an art class and like do a body art
That's what I'm talking
class.
about.
Like
That's what I'm
I mean,
talking about.
that, and they love, not to be weird or anything, but they would love us three because we all have very specific body types. You know what I mean? Like we're not like what you would generally see. So like if we walked into an art class right now, they would love you naked.
Mine is super dad bod, and mine is
Mine
so
is probably
17th
too.
century. What?
Mine is probably 2, but we could do like a
No, dude.
the three of us would be like, you know, they'd be like 2021 Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, as men, that would never pass. I don't
Hey,
know.
why not? I mean, they made Ocean's 11 girls.
Charlie's dads.
Charlie's dad.
Devils.
Oh.
Charlie's. Yeah.
What are the men?
you
Yeah,
said.
what's the masculine equivalent to an angel?
I guess. I mean, there are men angels though.
Yeah,
so it could still be Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, I guess it could work out.
Or should Charlie now be a woman also? Cheryl's Angels.
Maybe
Charles dads.
Charles's dad.
this.
Charles'
What?
dad.
Charles's dad, creator of the X-Men.
Charles is 3 dads.
This sounds like a cheap
That's a
porn
sitcom.
flick, dude.
That's a sitcom that failed in the 80s. Charles's 3 dads, starring Steve Guttenberg and
Steve Martin, Dan
Michael J.
Aykroyd.
Fox.
Okay, let's end this because it looks like we're at the end. Rob, is there anything? Actually, before you leave,
Yeah.
look dead into your camera and tell the baddies one last thing you want to leave with them.
Everything for everyone.
Wow, that was the quickest. You came prepped, yo. Everything for everyone, and I love that.
Beautiful. I think we have a new sticker idea.
Boom, everything for everyone. All right,
Love you guys.
love y'all.
I love you more than Christian.
Oh, it can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad. Oh, it can't be that bad.
Baddies, thanks for listening to the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This episode was brought to you by companies like M3is3D.com. Be sure to check them out. All the links that you need to find them are in the descriptions below. And be sure to check out ICBTB.com to get any of your merch that you want from us, or to check out episodes on any other platforms, streaming platforms, or YouTube. And be sure to hit us up on our socials. Email us and DM us on Instagram, and we'll see you guys later. Take it easy.